so much for joining us for the Why to Get a Mentor podcast. I'm really excited to hear everything that you have to say. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, just to get started, who are your mentors?
Oh, my mentors. I have a lot of mentors actually, and I looked, I thought about that, and I mean, from the beginning of however I could remember, from my grandmother, and then people in my life, in my circle that have come into my life from the beginning. So I think I see mentorship as an ongoing process in a personal and a professional life. The CEO of our company, he's my supervisor. He's also an awesome mentor. His name's Bill Kent. My best friend, Julia George, is an inspiration, and we've been friends for 20 years, and she's definitely a mentor. And then just so many people that I meet, we exchange information. And anytime that occurs, it's really about mentoring one another or mirroring one another. And I did actually have a conversation with Garrett about the mirroring, and we talked quite a bit about that. But yeah, mentorship, I have a lot of them, too many to name. So
that's great. And I think It's awesome that you realize and that you had them from such a young age too, like having your grandmother, and that it's just not something that evolves too as we get older, that and just with work, it's just in life and with everything.
Yes.
How have your mentors helped you get to where you are today?
Well, again, by exchanging information and igniting curiosity within me, questioning me, challenging me to become better or look at things, what I'm doing, my actions, my thoughts, my words, everything has to do with that.
So personally and professionally, can you think of it? Yeah, that's awesome.
I pretty much have a very wholesome life, in meaning that I don't see any divisions in my life. It's very integrated. So my parents had a very strong work ethic. I mean, we really are workaholics. So trying to navigate that, work was always an important part of our lives, and also our friendships and our social life. And there's always a continuum within those two things, and they never really showed me a separate life. It was always a very integrated life. So
I love that. That's awesome. I love that, pulling those together. And why did you decide to invest in building mentor relationships?
Well, I think that building relationships is very important. So how we relate to one another, human beings, human in the nature world, human with animals, anything, building relationships is what is the key to our well-being overall. So I really strive to have healthy relationships, and mentorship is just something else that comes very naturally, because I think as we evolve, and if we're really becoming more aware of ourselves, we strive for betterment, and we look towards people who are exhibiting healthy behavior or role modeling what they're doing, and then we become that. So, or we have the opportunity to become that. Not everybody does take that opportunity. So, but I've been very fortunate to see it exhibited since I was a little girl, and a lot of female role models and male role models, but I would say primarily female role models have been very strong and in my life. So
I love that. Very lucky.
Girlfriends and grandmothers, mothers, aunts,
I love that.
time. And my father's also been a strong influence in my life as well. So.
And I could see too from you that you probably are such a wonderful mentor to others too. that you're?
Well, I try to be that. I try to give back what I've received, because it's really a gift, and I think that our lives become more full when we see those gifts and we're grateful for them, and then we share them with others.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. Um, how can mentors help employees be better at work?
Well, a mentor can help an employee or a teammate. We call them teammates, and where we're very much um, a horizontal operation. I mean, there's leadership and everything like that, but really by exhibiting correct action, correct words, and sharing the journey, inspiring others to be all that they can be. Leadership and mentorship, I think we see ourselves, and then we see other people, and we can see the hidden talents and the gifts, and we try to spark those, or cultivate those more with each person. So it's a key to a successful organization. It's a key to a successful relationship. Even in our personal relationships, when we have friends or a significant other, we still have to mentor one another in some form or fashion.
I love that. That's awesome. Thanks. Um, how can mentors help make work more engaging? How you said how important it is in the organization to be mentoring each other. And I'm sure sometimes, especially if you get somebody in the organization that's not used to that, they may kind of step back a little bit from that. But how do you get somebody, how to that everybody, not, I don't want to say buy into it, but really embrace that if they're not used to it, and really engage into that?
I again think an open line of communication is first and foremost. Inspiring others, again, following through with your own actions, and being inclusive towards soliciting other people's creativity is very important, because we all are creative within. And seeing that gem, trying to pull it out, relating to people, also listening very well to what others are saying, and then being able to relate is very important. And that will definitely trigger engagement, because if you're genuinely interested in somebody, and you can see that, and you listen to that, and you really are that, then it's going to flow very naturally.
Makes it a lot easier.
Sure.
It's truthful, right? Do you encourage other people to seek out mentor relationships? I mean, the way you're talking, it just, a lot of them happen so organically, I can tell, in your life personally and work related. But do you talk about it, because I think sometimes people don't really realize they're a mentor, or that, they don't even realize that, quote, the term mentor, it just is. Do you actually talk about that or encourage that?
Do I use the word mentor?
Yeah, just encourage you to seek out like an actual mentor relationship, because I think sometimes they just happen so organically, you don't even realize that it's happening. But actually, hey, have you ever, does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Yes, there was a colleague of mine who was having a hard time the other day, and I hadn't talked to him in a while. So I'm working through it, and I said, "Are you talking to anybody?" And he's like, he kind of paused, and he says, "Yeah, I have." And I said, "You can reach out anytime, or connect with your close tribe, and bounce those ideas off." So I didn't use the term mentor, but basically, he really needed some mentorship. Like, he kind of needed to look at it. And as a matter of fact, I did. I'm looking for the word, but recommend him. I recommended him to take part in a mentorship program because of that conversation. And because we have that in our organization, we've embraced the mentorship and ambition in motion, and it's working well. It's a dynamite organization and structure, and so we're at a place where we're kind of looking and referencing other people to take part in it, because it has definitely worked well for many of us, all of us who have participated in it.
What kinds of what kinds of things have you seen that that would you say, that you can tangibly take out of it, just because it sounds like, mentorship has been such a big part in your life, and you're seeing it work in your organization so well. And what kind of things are you seeing that specifically you can take out, or just expand on that a little more?
Well, whenever you're interacting with somebody in a mentorship type of situation, it allows, and the way it's designed is to be, for each person to be authentic, and for each person to bring themselves to the table as they are, and then build upon that. So it's first and foremost, it's relating. Second of all, it's showing some vulnerability, and which creates a deeper connection. And within that deeper connection, not only do we talk about professional scenarios, but it actually works out to be more life scenarios. Again, the line gets fuzzy between personal and professional, which I think is important, because we're all human and we have lives outside of our careers. And if we keep it to, well, A and, I did A and B happened at work, or C happened at work, that's okay, but a lot of times it can be very superficial. But if you start asking questions about how each other is relating in the outside world within other relationships in their lives, friends, loved ones, family, then it starts to become more relative in the professional environment. And then we can make sense of the troubles that we might be having in our careers, or in our personal lives that mirror one another. Again, it's just all about this correlation between it. So
Yeah, I love that. Thanks. And I think it's just when you start with the authenticity and the true and being real at the very beginning, it becomes so much deeper and helpful than just a mentor, this is how you should do it type of relationship. You can see where you could just go two opposite directions and then blend the personal and professional, and it makes a huge difference. Because I think sometimes people just look at a mentor as just, oh, they're just going to tell me what to do.
yes, I think it's misunderstood.
Yeah.
And the way the program was designed, it really, again, creates more of a horizontal way of relating, as opposed to a hierarchical way of relating. And that's very important. And then you end up having people who are in different positions entirely within the company, that might not even deal with each other. Like we have a multitude of organizations and departments, and from the very technical to the human resources to the very creative, and all of that. With this program, you kind of go, wow, here we are, we're relating on these lines, we're doing two totally different things, but there is, the way we think about things is similar. And I think that's the benefit of what we're seeing in the mentorship program. It's like, wow, we think similarly, so how do we approach things in all areas of what we're doing? And it also boils it down to not just a career thing, but taking this out in our personal lives.
That's awesome. That's a huge takeaway. Love it. Thanks. Awesome. What tips or suggestions do you have for people who don't know how to start building mentor relationships? How would you tell someone to get started?
Well, I think it's a matter of looking at ourselves and making this a decision that we want to be better, and then opening ourselves up to it. So there's a saying that the teacher will come when the student is ready. Okay, so we're all students, you know, and in a mentor relationship, if we want to, we've got to want to seek it or want to do better, and then the teacher will come. And again, it's not necessarily somebody in a position that's above you. It's somebody that's going to offer you what you're looking for because you've put it out there in the field of energy. So, you know, it's called the law of attraction, or, you know, you can think about it that way. Is what we think we can manifest if we apply energy to it and nurture it. So we really have to want it. We have to want to change ourselves and be better, and then make those moves to become aligned with the right person that's going to show us that.
Be open to it.
I have a follow-up question for that as well, because I think
Sure.
that's awesome. Like, put it out, manifest it, see what it is, work on yourself first. What if I get to a point where I feel, okay, I've identified myself, I've looked at the things I want to do, I'm waiting for the person. You said something about aligning with people. How do you think, or how would you encourage something once they've done what you said, like put it out there, I'm looking, I'm waiting for this person? How would you encourage people or suggest they align themselves or identify actual humans that they're like how would you encourage them to identify humans that could be good mentors for them?
Sure. Well, I would say putting ourselves in places that allow that opportunity. So if it's in the work environment, and we're okay, again, just let's go back to we're becoming more self-aware. We're opening ourselves up to wanting more information and a mentor or role model to come along, right? So we start having conversations, and we become more interested, and we become more inquisitive in our job, in our personal life. If we're not doing something creative in our personal life, we may want to join a meetup group or something that's going to help us create new relationships and get out there and allow it to come to us. I mean, we don't have to go chasing and seeking. We have to remain open and inquisitive for it to appear. Things will always appear. It's like if you ever need money, it's like you'll find $10 on the ground. It's kind of funny. It's just, it works out that way. It's like, oh my gosh, I need this, or right now I really need some help in this area. And if you pay attention, you will get help in that area. Sometimes it's not exactly what you envisioned it to be, but it's exactly what you need.
And realizing it, and that was what you needed.
That's it. You know, if we're walking around in a fog, then we're not going to see those signs. Right. But we really have to, again, be interested in our own betterment and start to inquire within, and then we'll start to see without, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Kathleen, do you have any other?
No, that certainly is, makes a lot of sense. I think it's good advice. I believe in it. I was pushing to get a tangible, like more of like a process, like if I go here, I'll get this. And you are pushing us to just be open to the energy, which is something that I really admire and have liked about getting to know you. So I'm glad that you do that. But that is something that I do when people are like, oh, I want to, find a mentor. I want to find a new group of people. Like, what should I do? Are you being creative in your life? Or what are the things that you really find joy of? Find other people doing it. Like, this world is so big and there's so many people out there and we're all connected. Like, virtually a lot. It's pretty easy just to connect across the country, across the world. So no, I liked your piece of advice, like go find another group of people that likes to do that stuff. Talk to them, like get interested and show them you're interested in it. So no, I thought it was fantastic advice. Good.
Thank you.
That's great. Thanks so much, Laura. It's been great to talk to you.
Likewise.
I love it. Yeah.
Did you all have any other questions that you wanted to run through?
What do you think, Kathleen?
No, I think this
My
is
first
great.
go around with it.
Yeah, you're our first up, so thank you.
Sure.
No, I think these were good. And any other piece of advice that you have just about the general mentoring, relationships that happen? I think you've got a great take on it. I really enjoy listening to you talk about it, and it aligns well with what I think as well. So
yeah, I want to work with you. Oh, it's awesome.
It's again just relating at a human to human level.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to genuinely be interested in ourselves, and then we're genuinely interested in others. And like you said, Kathleen, everybody wants that A point, that I'm at A and I want to get to B. And it's like, well, you can do that, but it's just not that straight line. Everybody wants that linear line. Sometimes it is. Sometimes things flow like magic. But a lot of times it takes work. And I think when we spend time and we nurture ourselves, so again, like how do we meet new people and how do we align with a mentor? Well, look at what you like to do. So in your personal life, we've got our careers, we know, and if we're happy there, then we have that. Okay, we can look at components. If I work in an assembly line and I like to piece things together, maybe I like to do puzzles at home, or maybe I like to cook as something that's creative, or draw, or exercise. And we can, again, kind of relate and find other people that like to do the same things. Maybe join a cooking class, or an art class, or a photography class, or a fitness, meetup. And I know a lot of things are virtual right now, but it's not always going to be that way. We think everybody's saying, hey, this is the new norm. And we don't know what the new norm is. We really don't. I don't know about you, but my crystal ball broke when I was born. So, we kind of like, okay, so it's like this, but we'll eventually come back around. We're social animals. And, this is a time period, and a significant one. So, things will keep relating virtually or not, but the idea to keep relating and to push ourselves to really out of our comfort zones, because we can, I can tell you that I've gotten very comfortable at home. It takes me a lot to get out now. I'm like, wow, I really have to motivate myself to go to the grocery store. Or, I work out of my house a lot, but when I have to go in, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put on makeup and let me think about what I have to wear.
Exactly.
I'm wearing shorts right now because you're not going to see it.
Right. It works.
So.
No, I think this has been a great conversation. Love everything that you've had to contribute, for sure. All of it's just great stuff. I think you're exactly right with you have to look and be okay with yourself. You got to be really, really happy with what you have and what you are before you can have anybody else join that adventure.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll attract, exactly, if you're feeling low and you're down and you're negative, you're going to attract that too.
Right.
We don't have to be in that space. And if we don't like something about ourselves, we have the opportunity to work on it. That's the beauty. We're a creation, We're driving this car. This is the only one we're really truly driving.
Yeah. That's awesome, Laura.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks, Laura. I appreciate it so much. It was so great to meet you. I love
You
your energy. And
very much. And Kathleen, nice to see you again. And I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this conversation.